right on top. And this is the result of what it looks like. Ooh, like butter. As we all know, it is summertime. Ribs are on the grill. I'm gonna give you a simple rib recipe right here. You want people to taste the greatness you put into this, man. We got a St. Louis rib from Whole Foods, and it's pretty simple. We're gonna salt it up. Reason I salt the rib beforehand is because you know, some seasons can have too much salt, some rubs can have too much salt. So you just go ahead and salt it beforehand. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and you just wanna make sure that it is salted all over. And that's pretty much it right there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it. The top side needs a little bit more salt than the bottom, because this is where the thicker cut of meat is. And you want every inch of that thing salted. Look at the crystals. They're already starting to crystallize and to soak into that meat. Now that your meat is salted and ready to go, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the dry rub. I got Paprika is the base. It's what's gonna give it the color, but also flavor. If you're grilling it, which I am doing, it's gonna give it some flavor too. If you're doing one rib, one slab, it's pretty simple on how to build the right amount of rub for your ribs. And that is, you take a bowl and you act as if you're seasoning the bowl, just like that. You just take it across like you seasoning the whole thing, right? And then you want to do this front and back. That lets you know you're gonna get the right amount of seasoning in there, and that's what it looks like. And then you're gonna do the same with the black pepper, front and back, just as if you were seasoning the whole thing. And that's the black pepper. Then you're gonna come back with some onion powder. And it's the same step. And the reason I'm not pouring it on there is because you wanna mix this dry rub all together to get it perfectly mixed. Then we come back with the garlic powder, and it's all the same thing. And you're gonna go cinnamon. The cinnamon is the one ingredient where you're not gonna cover it back in twice because you don't want it to overpower. The cinnamon is literally gonna be halfway. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's all you want. That's all the cinnamon you want. Halfway. Perfect. Then you're gonna come with some brown sugar. You want to take whatever bowl you have for your thing, and you want it to be about a quarter brown sugar. And the only reason a quarter of the bowl is because the barbecue sauce that you're gonna put on it is gonna be pretty sweet. That's it, not too much. So that's about a quarter of the bowl of brown sugar. Perfect. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna just whisk it all together. And remember, this is a salt-free rub because you've already salted the ribs. And if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. So yeah, after you mix it up, this is what it looks like. Ribs have been sitting for about 15 minutes in the salt. It's pretty much soaked in because like I said, I had it at room temperature for some time now. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put the dry rub on the back side, flip it over, and put it on the top side. Remember what we did with our seasoning, and this is gonna be enough to cover this whole thing. And you're just gonna drizzle it. That back side gonna be flavorful. Whoever eats these ribs are gonna be like, yo, who seasoned these bad boys? We wanna make sure we get these little edges because people eat the bones. So we wanna make sure we grab this little part right here. And then this is what it's gonna look like. That's what it looked like right there. That's seasoned on the back side. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna season this side, and you see you got enough for it all. Same, in a circle, going around, just to evenly spread that seasoning out on these ribs, man. It's summertime, you know, make sure you get your fruits in, but you know, sometimes people want some ribs on the grill. You know, you gotta treat yourself sometimes. If you don't live a little, you're gonna die a lot, you know what I'm saying? And that's mentally, that ain't like physically die. That's mental death. You gotta enjoy life sometimes. Don't suppress yourself. Don't hold yourself back from the joys that you think are good with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, have fun. It's a blessing to be alive. You want people to taste the greatness you put into this, man. Like the time and effort you want people to taste. You don't want to put time and effort into cooking ribs and then somebody's like, oh, it was cool. All right, now that we got the ribs nice and seasoned, we're gonna let it sit for a couple hours in the fridge. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make a Kiwi barbecue sauce that pairs well with these ribs. The base of the barbecue sauce is gonna be kiwi, peeled. And what you're gonna do is you just drop it in the blender. Pretty simple. Blood orange. I usually use regular oranges, but today, I guess they're in season, so I just decided to use some blood oranges. So you take them two, you drop it in there. Turn it up as it goes. Hey, yo, that aroma is amazing that's coming off of these kiwis and blood orange mix. All right, so this is what it should look like. Blend it. This by itself, kiwi and blood orange, if this was coated in a sorbet, we're gonna put it on the stove. We are going to add just a tad bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon, a little bit over a tablespoon of olive oil. So as you can see, it's toasting off right now.
You want to add partially crushed garlic cloves and some orange peels.
Getting all that flavor in there. We're gonna add the mixture directly in there. This is gonna be a little bit of our base. We're gonna use this as the water. You can use water, but I like flavored soda water. And we're gonna get all of that out. So we're gonna take the soda water, we pour it in there, and then we're gonna add the soda water into there as well. And then we're gonna turn the heat back up a little bit. And from there, we're gonna let it cook off. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add brown sugar to the barbecue sauce. This is a nugget. This is good enough. And we're gonna let that barbecue sauce just, look at that color that it's getting. That color, that barbecue color is coming in right now. And that's a good color. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. A little soy sauce, low sodium. That's about 2 ounces of soy sauce max.
So I had a file get corrupted. So what I wanted you to do is I want you to add to this sauce, I want you to add about 4 to 8 ounces of tomato puree, a teaspoon of ketchup or vinegar. If you don't have vinegar, add ketchup. If you have vinegar, just add a teaspoon of vinegar. I want you to add a teaspoon of every seasoning: garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, paprika, cinnamon, and salt. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure you cook it low and slow to get that bitter tomato taste to cook out. Keep in mind the kiwi and orange is the base, so you can put as much as any seasoning you like. If you want a little more oniony, you put more onion powder. More garlic, put more garlic powder. You want the salt to taste. You want black pepper to taste. Those things you want to do. I just want you to keep that in mind.
Once the barbecue sauce is done, and then what's going to happen is once it cooks down, it's going to look like this. So I've already started the process of what I'm about to show you. And at this point is the point when you start to actually drain and sift all that pulp out, and you get that stream, and you just take this is the only size I got. So this part of the process can take a while if you don't have a big sifter, and then it's going to dry out, look like a paste, pretty much like that. Then you take this and you dump it in the sink. So I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to finish this process, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this once I'm done with the process. Once you're done with the process, this is what it's going to look like. Just like this. Is liquidy, very velvety. And this is where you want to add the rest of your sugars and salt to taste, just to get it to where you want it to be. But first, so what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the pan. And we're going to get some butter, about this much butter. Just not a lot of butter. See? And you're going to drop it in the pan, and you're going to just let it melt in that pan. This is to give it a little bit more depth in the barbecue sauce. And you also want a little bit more thickness of the barbecue sauce. This needs a little bit more sugar from me. So I'm gonna take another chunk, probably about that much sugar. It just seems about an ounce, 2 ounces of sugar. And I'm gonna drop it in the pan. And I'm just gonna let that melt down. And then you're just gonna dump it in there. It went from that thick, pulpy consistency to pretty much a sauce. That's the perfect sauce. This is a good consistency right here, because when you let it cool, it is going to thicken more. So once it gets to about this consistency, in between thick and runny, you can just go ahead and cut it off. You can taste it if you like to taste. If you need to add sugar at this point. If you need to add salt at this point, so it can just melt right down. And that's your barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna taste this just to see what it tastes like. Tastes like barbecue sauce. It's thick, it's ready. It's the color. Look at the color. It's that color barbecue sauce. It was looking suspect at first. I know you doubted me, but now it really looks like barbecue sauce, and it's gonna thicken up as it cools, and you're good to go. This is the ribs on the grill. I do the bottom side first, and then I flip it over. This is what the back side looks like after grilling. Oh yeah, I made some chicken. Got some corn on the grill too. So what we doing now? So we about to barbecue these ribs up. That's what we about to do. On the grizzle. We're gonna put a barbecue sauce on it right here on the back side. And then we're gonna flip it over. And we're gonna add a little butter. And then we're gonna finish it off with a little bit more barbecue sauce right on top. And then we're gonna wrap it up. And then we're gonna put it back on the grill for about 15 to 20 minutes. You're gonna let it sit on the grill, kind of on low, medium. And then after that, it should be done. And this is the result of what it looks like when you grill your ribs. That's beautiful. All right, cool. This is the ribs right here. Fresh out. This is what they gonna look like. Everybody gonna love them. Ooh, like butter. Not up to me or how good it is. It's up to somebody else.
How's that taste? Andy, can you give a buy a little, give him a little Stefan Johnson of how the food tastes.
So, if she do well, not too cooked, not too little cooked.
Oh, she doing the scripts and she breaking it down. Watch her go.
Oh, the sauce is spot on. Nothing's missing.
The sauce is spot on.
I mean, the ribs are fire.
They look good.